Wow, it's already here. We're still battling with the network and no network, and yeah, it is now. Just like some weeks ago, the day is here again. The 14th day of December 2024 is the day we have set aside to mark the second edition of Wale Olumu Memorial Awards and Roundtable Chat. Olumu Memorial Award 2024. And we'll be starting shortly. He's trying to get his books together, you know, because he's still the Vintage Talk Show with the Fudge. Welcome to the new dimension in recognition and celebration of excellence in the creative space called Nigeria. I'm your host with lots of goodies for you today. My name is Femi Akintunde-Johnson. My friends call me Fudge. Now, wow, Mr. T.
Fudge. Hello,
It's
Fudge.
gone again.
I'm back.
Now that you can talk, let's quickly introduce you. Let's quickly introduce you before it goes off again.
Okay, yeah.
While Mark Okri plays in the background, I'd like to introduce Mr. T before they take his voice away. Good morning, Tokubo Jekule.
Good morning, Fudge. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Nigeria. Welcome to another beautiful package today, as usual.
Yeah. You're welcome. Alex is trying to get his footing right, but Esife is here. Good morning, Esife Arugundade.
Good morning to everybody. Welcome to another wonderful edition of our Woma Memorial Awards. Enjoy with us as we give you all the necessary things we should.
Yes, all the necessary things we should give you. Expect it. I will start with them. Our lineup will change a little bit today because of Woma. We'll have entertainment news and maybe reviews if time permits. But here it is. Esife with the entertainment news. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead, please.
Hookup has dangerous consequences, says Ayo Adesonya. children during a recent interview. Adesonya urged young women to be mindful of their choices, especially during the festive season. She emphasized that there are no shortcuts to achieving success. The actress also cautioned that not everything on social media is genuine.
Mm.
Many of us who should be mentors have taught children harmful lessons. To the young girls, your parents may not teach you everything, but remember that much of what you see online is fake.
Mm-hmm.
True. Wow, 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 wow. Mm.
embarrassing. It's a good thing, especially when you have a covenant with your God. Why would a woman feel belittling that she's keeping herself chaste? And
Maybe because of how others will see her. People might think that something is wrong with that. That why will you be waiting to that age? So it might be for maybe she had told some people and the way they were talking to her about it, saying that why will you do such a thing? That can't you break it? Things like that. So it could be from what others have said.
but is this something that people talk about, that women talk about? I don't think men will talk about it.
Men can talk about, but not much. Maybe not much women talk about it.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Let's move. I think it's a nice thing. Yeah. But 37. Okay. That means she's not married.
No, she's not.
The right man will come and he will appreciate her. Yeah.
Emanuela and Success parts ways with Mark Angel comedy. Teen comedians Emanuela and Success have parted ways with Mark Angel comedy following a recent controversy involving former crew member Daniel Sinigwe. In August, during a viral podcast, Igwe accused Mark Angel of financial exploitation. In response, Mark Angel, a well-known comic star, announced during a TikTok live session on Tuesday, 10th December, that he is no longer managing the careers of Emanuela and Success. He explained, "I no longer manage Emanuela and Success. They are now being managed by a professional agency because I'm too busy to manage them. However, I still work with them."
What's the we are glad to have you back, Mr. T. What is the problem of journalists? Is that, if you read the story now, does that mean that they are parted ways? He just said that they're advancing, they're having a more professional management handling them, and that he will be joining them now and again. Does that indicate parting of ways? Parting of ways means there's some kind of quarrel or some kind of intrigue or misunderstanding going on.
Yes.
It doesn't appear so, does it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Mr. T, sorry you have not been able to join us. The network has been with you. Sorry about that.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Yeah, but we'll get by. I'm sure.
We will get by. Okay, Esife, do we still have more?
Yes. Sparrow announces free wedding performances. Sparrow has announced an exciting initiative to give back to his community this December. He will perform for free at the weddings of 5 lucky couples starting on Saturday, 14th December. On his Instagram page, he encouraged his followers to tag any couple getting married this December for a chance to take advantage of this generous offer.
Wow.
He expressed his desire to contribute to that special moment by delivering memorable performances at no cost. While the offer comes with terms and conditions, the specifics have not been disclosed.
Do you have anyone getting married?
I don't know about you.
Let's quickly share the story. I mean, it will not be
but he said
that's the guy that sang this song that was even in the playlist of Governor. Who's your guy? Yes. Sir?
Who's your guy? Yeah. Yeah. All I'm saying is that, like, it comes with some conditions.
Yeah, he sang Who's Your Guy.
Well, the offer comes with some subscription. Some
terms and conditions. You
terms and conditions. we need to check that out.
It has to be around Lagos. Secondly, we likely prefer it is on the island. And another one, do not let me on the Saturday.
You see, he's blocked everything out.
Beg your pardon?
He has blocked all the locations out. He doesn't want to disturb his normal flow.
Okay, let's go. Do we still have something?
No, we are done.
Oh, we are done. That's great. Mr. T, sorry. We are done. We'll take a short break and come back to newspaper reviews. Sorry about that.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. This is dealing with.
He doesn't understand. Okay. But can you? Am I audible?
Abio, I don't blame
Am
him.
I?
Okay,
Am I
we're going
audible?
on. We're going on. Thank you, Sife,
Uh,
for that take on entertainment. of somebody in Alaska or where he is. Mr. Tio, my Galerio. Mr. Tio, are you back?
I cannot explain. You have to tell me if I'm back. Oh, I don't even know if I'm back. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Maybe I'll try
Bravo.
and connect with you in what's
Wow.
it's
First,
Mike.
can
He's
you hear
trying
me?
to reach. He's wondering why we can't do I said you in Lagos, I mean yeah, I mean issue, network issue. Not talk of someone in Lagos, but thank God all of our guests is here. So we can fly. And this one
Okay.
is a Soro master. So we won't have problem for 1.5 hours.
Oh my. Fudge, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Ah, better now. Okay. Ah, wow. The journey is
I've
so
reloaded
good
this
today.
thing like 4 times today.
Yeah, this is about
Okay,
the
I'll be
sixth
going back.
time. Okay.
We have a lot of this stuff, a lot of fine music, fine stuff. Uh, Kids love to dance to. Some of what I'm saying, I don't understand, but they are doing well. That's Lagos Boy by Olamide, Sanko, or is it Shanko by Timaya, King Kong by Vector, Jagaban by YC. Mr. T, you are hearing names, so that names that can make me fall down.
You actually are
Pray
sounding as
for
if you are speaking in tongues.
yes, so Pray for Me by Dari, Good Woman by Solid Star, Shadi by
Okay.
Adekunle, and Godwin by Korede Bill. I remember that. Nice one, nice one.
Mhm.
We don't know what he's doing after he left school and Godwin. Or God will win in his life, yeah, one way or the other. So we are back. We are back. We have our guests in the house, and our other guests all over the world are still trying to get across to us. But we thank God for little mercies. This is how far the network has led us, and we'll be glad. I will roll with it. Okay. So, Mr. T, we are no longer. We are moving on to the roundtable now, the part one of it. One of our
Okay.
guests is there. I hope others will join us. If you can, we'll try to link up with either by one mean or the other. But we
Yeah.
thank God for His grace that we have one of our special guests here. Today we are talking about Wale Olomu Memorial Awards. Mr. T, what if you're on reflection, uh, what do you remember most about Wale?
Ah, wow. Interesting. We're starting from that point, Fudge. I recall that Wale happened to be one of the go get information guys. Wale has a style, and I'm sitting here now, and I remember a few times that he had walked into my office during the heydays, and he wouldn't leave until I gave him the information he wanted. And there was
Hmm.
one particular day he wanted me to um, talk about, I think it was copyright things, and I can't remember. A colleague of mine came into the office and asked, and suddenly asked him, where are you from? And he told the man, and the man said, you guys, you don't seem to write well these days. And I said to him, this guy is a different person. And Wally said, in a very some humble way, he said, I'm just learning, sir. I'm just learning my tricks. I don't even know how to do it. And I looked at him again.
Hmm.
This guy that writes every Saturday, telling me he doesn't even know how to do it. But he was, yeah, and immediately after he switched to the topic. He switched back to the purpose of why he was in the office, and I liked that. That was the first impression I had, and then on, followed him, and so he gave me an idea of exactly how a reporter or a journalist should behave. And he also gave me this pattern of not giving up when you are even being brought down in a way. And it was, yeah, I like that approach. And I can't remember if I discussed it with you then or KB, but I remembered that he just had that, and it caught my fancy. Quite prolific. He would write so well, and he was deep. He wouldn't write frivolous things particularly. There was a way I don't know how, I think very few of us had that pattern of being very diplomatic with words, even if it's a scandal. There are ways they even put it in such a way that the person they are writing about will love the style. And I found Wale in that area. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. T. Today in this day, my column called Counterpoint, I devoted the entire column to remembering him. It's titled Celebrating the indelible legacy of Wale Olomo. And I will read some portions as we go on, my guest permitting. I open with this paragraph. It is a curious paradox that some individuals, even when confined to the briefest of lifetimes, manage to etch their existence indelibly on the annals of their profession and the hearts of their contemporaries. Among these figures stands Wale Adewale Olomu, Wale to friends and colleagues, whose life, though tragically brief, remains a template of excellence in entertainment journalism, such a rare breed. As we approach 30 years since his untimely passing on 22nd of December 1994, the resonance of his impact grows only stronger. Born on January 24, 1964, he departed this world barely a month shy of his 31st birthday, and yet almost 3 decades after. In fact, next week it will be exactly 30 years. His name still evokes reverence, admiration, and yes, a deep pang of regret for all that could have been. That's Wale for me.
Wow.
Wow, he's a great guy. Our guests may not know him, or may have, or may have, and he's a legal mind, so he might have done his research. I know that. But after introducing you, I would love to hear your comments briefly before we launch into why we're here today. Okay. Our guest is a forward-thinking legal expert and managing partner at the law firm of Abraham Thompson and Co. As a trained arbitrator and mediator, he has been routinely advising clients in fast-moving, I think that's commercial goods, consumer goods, aviation, real estate, technology, media and entertainment, maritime and creative sectors of the economy. With years of experience supporting businesses and creatives, he's also the host of The Law and You on Legal Talks FM, where he offers pro bono legal advice to the public. Welcome to the Vintage Talk Show edition of Wale Olomu Memorial Awards Roundtable Charts.
Good morning.
Legal experts and talk show hosts Oluwaseun Ajasa.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lagos.
Good morning.
Great to be on this morning. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Great to be within the same space. I think it's an interesting morning. I've had an opportunity to read a bit, of your writing about the honoree of today, and it's interesting, like you said, that 3 decades after, we're looking back at it. Life we may think is short, but obviously was very impactful. It's just a message for whoever has time today that there's so much that we can do in so little a time that we may have, no matter how little that time is. It could be 60 years, it could be 30. But definitely our honoree of today shines very bright. And so great to be in the studio today. I'm speaking about this very great person, and in a space that is very interesting for recent development in the entertainment space as well. I'm sure we get into that as we continue.
Thank you, Shion. Thank you. It's a good thing, especially early morning show to have a guest physically in the studio is so hard for me. So we are glad. We will squeeze as much as we can from him today before we go. And our focus will be on building broad-based safety nets for veteran and indigent practitioners. We hope Mike Oakley will be able to join us. As the contemporaries of Isifi and they will say legendary Mike Oakley, he's done fantastically. He's now in the United States, so we're having issues at the time. I think we have about 8-9 hour difference. So he's keeping awake, trying to get in. Whatever, we will try and get his voice somehow on the show as we go on. And of course, Miss Fuluke Ramola. We don't know where she is. Sometimes she's in the village, sometimes with her husband, sometimes they're very busy and all that. Too busy that sometimes they forget to read posts to know that there's a link. It's a phone call, So this is my yapping her. If she doesn't show up, I will do her more yappies next week and all that. Okay, so thank you for Sheung being with us this morning. And wherever you are, you can join us. The number to call is 0997-3485. Wherever you can join the roundtable conversation and ask our guest question and all that. The number is 0913-697-3485. And interestingly, joining us this morning in anticipation of an interesting weekend is our legal expert and social development advocates, Olutu Bosun or Shifora. Good morning, Bosun.
Good morning, good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning. Good morning.
Bosun is there, He merely puts on his slacks, that his team is playing either today or tomorrow, and he's very expectant, But I pity him sometimes. He's a victim of his own passion. Okay. Yeah,
And interestingly,
yes.
Bosun was, I think, 3 or 4 years ahead of me. We both graduated from Lagos State University together.
Is that so?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Now. Lawrence Senior, are you there? Oh, great. Now, when you call, I mean, in my days, we don't have lawyers who move anywhere near entertainment except to go and watch movies and to watch concerts. You don't hear people say they practice something that has to do with entertainment and is a lawyer. Lawyer entertainment. How do they meet? Their things are different. Do you really have entertainment lawyers? Or lawyers kind of specializing in entertainment?
So at least in the past 10 years, we've had, because the entertainment industry has witnessed a different kind of resurgence, and the investments from organized finance that's coming within the entertainment space has required some structuring. As a result of that, you would have more business looking in, you would have more finance people looking in, and definitely you have the influx of professional lawyers who are also looking in and all of that. And so definitely we even have younger people now who specialize entirely in non-court practice and in the entertainment business. And it's big business.
Wow.
Because we're looking at music, we're looking at fashion and industry connected to the entertainment space. We're looking at broadcasting, and those things that has to do with rights, specification of the rights, and adverts, and all of those adverts, and the script writers, and all of that. So you have seen a lot of fireworks, people contending about, oh, they stole my story, they made a movie, we had a
The lawyers are
conversation.
there.
Also, definitely, we then have lawyers playing because it is
Copyright and
enough.
all that stuff.
It's enough of an industry to pay for the services. Also, professionals who want to devote their time to it. So definitely, the tide has changed. You have lawyers definitely within this space because money, structured money, has now found its way into that space. I may say.
Great to hear that. Now we know anywhere it's like vulture and carrion. Anywhere you see lawyers, you know that there's money to be made, legitimately and all that. So we thank God, entertainment industry it's on the rise. Now, so also is poverty within the system. So also is perversion and some level of step.
What's happening?
I don't know. But we're the only two left here now. I think it's from the studio end. Yes.
So, all these are 5G behaving like 1G.
What? Are you sure it's even one? It doesn't look like one. No, it's like half. And it's quite expensive. They just knock our heads foolishly. I don't know. I honestly do not know.
And nobody is regulating.
Nobody's regulating. Nobody. They don't care.
The only time we reckoned with a regulator was when Akintunde-Johnson was there. Since he's left,
Yes.
yeah, like there's
And
any form of regulation, regulatory movement.
and he really gave them tough time then. Tough time, yeah. If only there had been some continuity, maybe everything would have been much better. Maybe not perfect, but still better.
That's why people are opposed to all this tenured democratic governance. Sometimes in a chaotic situation like this, you may need someone to be there for like 20 years to erect proper and permanent structure.
Mhm.
When people serve 2 years, 3 term, 2 years, and all this funny, short terms, it just like appetizers.
Well, you should also remember that no structure is firmed. We're still people oriented. Even machines will make mistakes. Now, because we are people involved governance system, everybody has his own thinking, attitude, character, and the only consistent thing might be the idea that you have been asked or the policies you have been asked to execute. So it's all about you now executing it the way it should be.
So, what happens in most cases is that, particularly when positions are filled with political appointees, succession is always a problem because once you bring in a new person, he comes with his style. If somebody is brought from the same establishment, the likelihood of continuity is high.
Very, very. Oh, that's one is gone off again. Oh. Over time, though, we will get it right. Well, I hope it's not too late. And we've always been hoping. I look back at when I go into broadcasting and all these advanced technologies were not there. In spite of that, we still receive signals, except when NEPA comes to, to misbehaving sometimes. But are quite expensive to run your station. The transmitters, even at that, you have everything in place. It's the people running it that matter. Yeah, even managers at the top that matter. The impact they have on their colleagues, junior, yet branding their stations for them matters a great deal. And if they're not well shaped, it will kill the morale. It could definitely kill the morale.
Didn't think too much about the kind of rights that will be split between those financing those works and him who is doing the grunt work, getting the stories, getting the music, getting the sound, the rights to the soundtrack, and all of those things connected. And today he's able to connect with new audiences, to reintroduce those movies to new filmmakers who want to redo the work. Documentation being a challenge, some people are coming back out, so that can be the kind of safety net for them, that what work do they have existing that they can reintroduce to a new audience, looking at partners, because this green and vintage material are of top quality.
Yeah.
They were very didactic. They had so many things to offer in terms of looking at our community and society today. This conversation whether movies imitating real life or real life is imitating movies. So a lot of those conversations exist for us to see that they can derive benefits from some of these materials that they have existing as some sort of pension plan for them.
Okay. Yes, we've been chatting with Oluwaseun Ajasa on WOMA 2024 roundtable chat. And that's the problem's plenty. Well, let's take a breather. We'll take a break. Mr. T, I know you are under, you are a victim of network recklessness and heat and all that.
Can I shock you, Paj? Can I shock you? When you guys went off the radar, it left Bosu and I in queue, and we were busy discussing another topic entirely to keep the show going. All of a sudden, I realized I needed to reboot. So after rebooting, I came back into your sitting room, and I found you and Bosu is hanging out there. But really, I had a tail end of this discussion. And honestly, I think he's absolutely on point, because somehow we find the storytellers running after the living stories and not really foretelling what it should be. So we also will think things like that will change with time. But can it change? Because there's a lot of money in it and people still want to make the best of it. So,
well, we are still talking about building safety nets for veteran and indigent practitioners in Nigeria. And I've been chatting with Oluwaseun Ajasa and my colleague Tokumbo Jekunle, and we are trying to link up with our other guests to get their contribution. But meanwhile, we need to rest a bit. And we are going back to songs produced between 2010 and 2014. We have by Dr. Seed and Don Jazzy. We have the Robuchi. I remember that by the Marvin's Crew. It was like a street anthem all over the place. He won Mama Award for Song of the Year 2014. We have Whiskey's breakthrough song, Oju Elegba, mega hit. And it changed the face of Afrobeats, as they call it. We have Shake Body by Scales. Remember, that's also a big hit in 2014. 2014 is quite big. You have Double Wahala by Orisa Femi, taking the sampling the beats of
Oh.
we'll play some of these songs in the short break we have. Let's start with Dorobuchi. Dun, 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 dun.
This is the highlight version.
Eh?
This is the highlight version.
Yeah, highlight. Hello, Bossum.
Hello, sir.
I was going to break it to you that we are back on air. As we are talking here, you two are talking there. Don't go. So I have to shut you. I have to shut you to keep the noise level down.
We just felt we were waiting for you to come. Sorry, sir.
I know. Sorry about that.
No problem.
And that's Dorobuchi, the highlight version by Don Jazzy and Dr. Steve. Now let's go to Oju Elegba by Whiskey. Oju Elegba. We're playing sounds of 2010 to 2014. We are dealing with songs of people who probably don't know about Wale Olomu. We'll get to the older ones as we go further. This is Oju Elegba. what I consider as Wizkid's breakthrough song, talking about his life in the states of our studios then. Now let's move to the last one for 2010 to 2014, and this is A Minado by Tiwa Savage featuring Don Jazzy. When we're talking.
Okay.
Impressed. We call it in my own time, we call it action picture.
As it's still called.
Is this so? Sorry, guys, can't hear the lovely music. You don't have headphones
Sorry,
on.
I can hear
Sorry
it. I
about
can
that.
hear it. This is the first time I can monitor the music
you
from
can?
here. I can.
Oh, I don't
You know, I
want
told you-
Facebook or YouTube to block us.
I told you these things have a mind of their own.
Okay, this is Amy Nado, Tiwa Savage featuring Don Jazzy. I suspect it's not a Yoruba word, Amy Nado. Or else hell will have broken loose. That's top songs from 2010 to 2014. And we'll be going back to the studios to talk to our guests. And we try to get one of the others online to speak their minds about building safety nets for veteran and indigent practitioners. I mean, I've learned the definition of veteran doesn't mean poverty or being indigent or anything. But yeah, let me take you again and say this piece, this little piece, an extract from my profile. What's it called? How will I call it? Tribute to remember Wale this day. And it goes, I say, Wale was not just a journalist, he was a force of nature, a blazing comment in the state skies of Nigerian showbiz reportage. His work, spanning prominent publications like the Daily Times, Republic newspapers, Vintage People, and Fame Weekly magazine, was driven by a singular philosophy: to unearth the hidden, celebrate the unsung, and give light to those whose brilliance was often overlooked. Long before it became fashionable to amplify the stories of the marginalized in the entertainment industry, Wale had made it his life's work, and he excelled.
Super lines, Fudge.
Yeah, that's Wale for you.
Super
And,
lines. You got it. So apt. So
Thank
apt.
you, my brother.
Mhm.
Now, one of Wale's remarkable attributes is because we worked together for some years, and it was like, these guys are good. Let's show them. Let's show them. I said, we are who will buy the car because of them? I said, let them be inside. They do your big story outside. Let them be inside. It was like advocates for them, always pushing because he was always in the studios. He was always behind the scenes. Was always working the market. In fact, we created Fame Music Awards out of his weekly production of Fame Weekly. We did Fame Music Weekly, where we do music charts. So you go to Oshodi, um, Idumagbo, Oyigbo, Butemeta, different sorts of places where they sell music in cassettes and CDs to gain sales. And people will not want to share their sales, but they will talk to Wale, this one is selling, this one I sold this, I've sold five, I've done this. So he will collect all these things and they will work together and then we arrive at the top 10 songs or selling music of the year. Remember, Mr. T, you are one of the judges for FMA. That's why we're able to get for popularity because of Wale's work in the field. He's just a force of nature, incredible human being. Okay. Our prayer is that people may have good things to say about us after we have gone. The Bible says we will live to ripe old age. So I'll first get there first.
Amen.
But he died suddenly, and he didn't deserve to die that young. He was quite selfless and all that, So when you look at the industry now, I don't know about. I'm a media person, so but my affiliation with the entertainment industry is more than almost 4 years. It's been part of my life and all that. But I'm still not I'm still a media person. Now, is there any role the media can play in cushioning the harsh effect of misused opportunity or mismanaged talent and all that? Because some of these issues that afflict those who suffer now, it probably lack of good advice or financial understanding of how to manage themselves when the going was good. And some didn't just care about money and all; they just wanted to share their talent. Is there any role that you think the media could play in leveraging this?
So I think for me, the interesting thing we must consider is that media as we knew it 20 years ago has completely changed. We used to have what you may refer to as gatekeepers in terms of how information is spread about people's talents and skills and contributions to the entertainment space. But there is no monopoly of that anymore. In fact, if you pay attention to what Elon Musk, the X platform, tries to say, when he's railing against legacy media, is to say you are the media, addressing each person that has a Twitter account. We have now gotten to the age where an individual can become their own media powerhouse, required to tell their own stories and put out information in such a way to an audience that can in turn pay them or platforms that can pay them. And so what you have is you already have technology platforms trying to leverage at people's attention in exchange for resources to those people. And so, of course, what we have to embrace today is the existence of new media platforms and the resources that is possible for people to earn embracing those new media platforms. Because it's about attention. If you can garner as much attention, whether with your music, whether with your scripts, whether with your spoken word, whether with your shows, it can convert to commercial success for each of those persons. And so media has changed. And with that change, the good and the bad definitely exists. But then you have an opportunity for it to showcase to the entire world. As it is now, we're sitting in this room and people from different parts of the world are connecting to engage with us. So somebody in Alaska, somebody in Stockholm, somebody in Prague can join us right at this moment, consuming what we are doing. And if we find benefit enough, depending on whatever media platform we're using, we can earn from those
Yeah.
conversations and it. And so, of
Mhm.
course, definitely it's used to what these platforms are able to deliver to enable, because it's now an attention industry. You, 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, it did not exist in this format. Um, you only knew of maybe a few on-air personalities, but the producers who worked with them, the people who wrote their scripts, you probably didn't hear of them. And speaking about our career of today, those were people he likes to see. Who are the people behind the scenes?
Yeah.
Even in the music space, several years ago, the music producers were begging the artists to take on some of their sound
Mm.
to as part of their song, as part
Mhm.
of the body of. They didn't have pride of place in earning continuously from the popularity of some of the songs that we know. But today the story has changed. They are signing split sheets that are recognizing the producer's rights, recognizing the writer of the song, ensuring that they get some measure of the success or not of some of the songs in terms of money and returns. And so these are the possibilities that we have now seen with the new media, working with our legacy media to see, because we cannot take away the role the legacy media will have, our typical television stations and our radio stations.
Mm.
But what has happened is that technology has now enabled the attention of people to go through different platforms. So what is important that within this space is that anybody who is creating content or involved in the creation of content that people can consume, whether visually or via their ears, they need to record their size or their contribution to such content
Mm.
and ensure
Mhm.
that in a commercially sound way they can earn a return. Because you things that you never thought could go viral are going viral these
Viral.
days.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are
Mhm.
cooking in their
Mhm.
kitchen,
Yeah.
they are
And they're
leveraging
and
off
they're
that
making money off
relationship,
it.
for
Yeah.
people watching them to cook. And
Mm.
and this is because a young mother who feels that I don't know what to do for my children can go online to consume this content. Some people
Mhm.
are writing scripts in
Yeah.
their room
Yeah.
and voicing
And
and
acting it out.
acting,
Yeah.
Mhm.
several roles with
Mhm.
their mobile phones.
Yeah.
And so those scripts can in turn take a life of their own to movies, or those persons can become on-air personalities or are invited to shows because people now follow them. So it's so democratized that media is very powerful. And that's why you find that even politicians and movers and shakers in every society,
Mm.
they want to have a hold on what is going on in the
Mhm.
media. It's
Mhm.
about the minds of the people. If you can capture people's minds, then you can do the unthinkable,
Yeah.
and thinkable as well, within this space. So definitely, the media has that role to help indigent practitioners and people less seen prior to this time to earn for their contributions to the contents that have been created and that people enjoy all over the
Mhm.
media space.
Mr. T, do
Mhm.
you have a question for him?
Yeah, I was going to ask him, um, what do you see about over the influences of foreign um, music or entertainment businesses over time? Fad, you recall, I'm sure you also recall, my brother, that we had the EMIs of this world, we had the polygrams of this world, and so many others. They came at a time when the media was, let me use the word, was very free and unresearched. And when these guys came, I do not know the kind of copyright laws we had at that time, but they left with a function. And that function gave us the opportunity to see how music is made, how talents are searched. Because in those days, we have the kinds of power Gilos who were repertoire managers for those big companies. And as a repertoire manager, he's going to ensure that your lyrics and content flow together. He had a hand over that. And I'm looking back. I don't know where we slumped in that area because somehow between the I think 90s, mid 90s, We had very funny content in terms of lyrics, and these things went unguarded. Nobody checked on them, and incidentally, those were the songs that were selling and making money, despite the lewd contents they were in. So my question is this, okay, that don't we think that oftentimes when we over supervise or give stringent tasks and measures and ideas to how music is done, we also will kill either the entertainment flow in it, or we also kill the way we make money from it?
So that's it's it's a very interesting question. And when I work with a number of entertainers, they themselves, this so I give an example, music practitioners making music today. They also have a concern that should they produce music that they think the audience today wants to consume, or should they produce from themselves and force the audience to consume what they have produced?
Okay.
You mentioned that some of the contents of the music of old were very lurid, Unfortunately, if you listen to some of the songs produced as well, it's either singing about woman body parts, about um, cyber crime, about drinking and splurging at clubs, and because it's a the concept of our freedom of expression, comes into that space. However, we also, alongside those content, we also have people who make very good quality music with sound message for the society and the community as well. And in terms of the influence of foreign some of the largest local indigent record labels are funded by private equity money, or international record labels partner found all over the world. We have the rave of the Afro beats now. In fairness, it's not so powered from money made in Nigeria. It is powered monies coming from a lot of these foreign record labels who see
True.
Afrobeats as the next new thing that can allow us message. It's new, and you see the likes of Ashake, you see Bonner
Mm-hmm.
Boy, you see Thames, you see Ira Star. They are doing shows in Sweden, doing shows in different parts of Europe, doing shows in different American cities. More than history, we know that a number of legends within the music space have played in some of these venues in the 70s, in the 60s, in the 80s, but we are then
True.
able to see them live happening now. It is because of the foreign influence of these record labels. And then what has happened initially, and we must give kudos to our entertainers, our recent entertainers, they were trying to mirror the American entertainment professionals in what they were doing. Nigerian music, Nigerian lingo is being exported. So you would see a Caucasian woman listening and mouthing Ashake's song word for word. You will see them consuming music made somewhere in the streets of Agege or somewhere in Abeokuta and dancing this culture, this language. And so it's an interesting situation where you find foreign trying to give mileage African
Mm-hmm.
culture. The only challenge that we must watch out for is that the levels of power never leave the African shores.
Hmm. Oh, what a place to cut this. What is wrong with this thing? Oh, come on. Oh,
Wow. Mr. Tio Galenio. The network
don't
is
worry.
whack.
It is.
Internet.
We
Yeah.
won't give up.
Maybe
It's
I
so
should change
poor.
to
Which
Airtel.
internet are you using now?
MTN.
And they're
MTN.
And they're about the best now.
yeah.
I don't know what's happening to them.
Sorry, Mr.
Wow.
T.
It's
It's so
fine.
stressful.
And it went off at the point where I was like, oh, I was following the story all through. Explanation so super. Yeah, it were things we knew before, but the way he
One of
was putting them out, it sounded so new to me again, and quite explanatory. Thank you so much. But I have to fall back to the recording and stuff, so we get more of it. Also, it's completely lost. It's in outer space at the moment too. Ah,
and let's try scaling Davido. Enough of madness.
time I'm going to leave you. I just leave you here.
And finally, my favorite, Nice with Gongo. So, Mr. T, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I went off again and I decided not to touch it. I
It's
just
not
left it
leaving.
and it came back by
Just leave it.
itself.
Yes, that's the best. No, it's because I'm having issues with my internet here. It's tripping off
Okay.
from here. Problem. I
Okay,
mean,
now
that's
I
one of the
see.
problems.
One of the problems here. It's fine.
Okay, so this is the last segment
Okay.
of a question and answer. So mostly, if you just want your advice, what will you advise them? Those who are in that kind of quagmire now, what will you advise them
Okay.
as a legal expert? I've tried all these the other people. I don't. My number is not on WhatsApp, and
Oh,
it's. I don't know why you cannot do StreamYard. I don't understand. So Lucas is not picking a WhatsApp line.
that's probably deliberate, or something is happening at the end. We don't know, so it's fine because the show is moving on though,
It's lovely, no. I don't know. I don't know.
and it's unlike her somehow.
Next week, Gongoma saw Kutukutumahu. We're unveiling the award. I mean, I say award winners. Will I call them winners? Honorees for Life Achievement
Mm-hmm.
Awards, Special Recognition Award, and you guess. Some of them will be in the studio. Some of them, will, of course, will be like Shehu said earlier, far flung in different corners of the world. But we'll be giving award and lifetime
Yeah.
achievement. There are no nominees. They are selected specially based on our knowledge of what they have done in the industry, silently creating legacies, just like Wale would want it. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gongwa. So let's move on. We'll be back. You can still join us. The number to call is 0913-6973-485. I say, let's talk. Let's chat. 0913-6973-485. Are you a musician? Are you what do they call them? Veteran in a position where you think it could be much better? What would be your advice for your colleagues and contemporaries? What would be your advice? How do you the end of your life should be like a rainbow shining through and giving light to others. It shouldn't be pain, humdrum, and problems. So, Shell, you've been talking and advising pro bono. So you do one more time. You do it one more time. Today, what will you advise those who are in such a position where there is apparently no systemic help, no support, no concerted um, kind of how will I call it? Like safety net, so to speak, something cushion to help. There's not even insurance, life insurance, what do you call accident stuff and all that, incidentals, nothing.
Insurance. Yeah.
What would be your advice to members of this great industry?
So one of the things that, particularly if such person was in the business of producing content, just as I mentioned, some of these contents are being repurposed. If you look at some of the largest songs by maybe from a music perspective, they have gone back to sample songs by Fela. They've gone back to sample songs by Commander Ebenezer Obey. They've gone back to sample some songs and put a modern spin on those songs. So if they are sitting on such content, it may be useful for them to reconnect first with the industry and find whether there are some new artists that may want to re-record their songs if they have rights to those songs. But it's just very critical that they need to go back and ensure some sort of paperwork or documentation they can do for those songs if they
Okay.
exist, if they have those contents. There's opportunity to reuse because you find that it's just like fashion. It goes round and round. Today it is slim, tomorrow it is baggy, today it is back to slim,
Yeah.
now it is back to
Mm.
baggy. See the Gen Zs, they want to wear the very biggest shirts, they want to wear the very biggest jeans. There was a time it was all about slim jeans, the slimmest, the tightest, bell bottoms were
Yeah.
back, we've gone,
Wow.
back again in different versions. You have distressed jeans. Those jeans used to be patched.
And I've got
Now
these
it's
stretch
distressed
jeans.
jeans. So those things that are vintage, they have value. People want to remake more. There's a generation now watching Domitila as we have it today. But in the original version of the Domitila, it was not, the stories,
They've
Ineka the
changed.
Pretty Serpent, these movies are being
Living in
remade,
bondage
Living
and
in
all that.
Bondage. These movies are being remade, with a newer spin, looks nice and dazzling with all the locations and shiny cameras that were not existent then.
Yeah.
But those storylines were rich. They were written from a place of sometimes from the pain of the people who experience those stories, from the experiences around that time that are relevant today, some of the songs that and issues, so those who are, doing conscious music or conscious content, more than ever before, we need it because the population has increased. We're talking about education, access to social amenities, freedom to speak and criticize government and challenge government
Yeah.
for the kind of services they render. So there is the reimagination of those things that are back. Such people, if they have contents like that, they can connect with professionals in the industry today and see whether it can be reused, remade. This is an opportunity for them to then plug in into the structured money and finance that is coming into the entire creative industry. Some of them are the great stage plays. We have the National Theatre back again.
Yeah.
Some people may need these stories to rewrite, and actors and actresses and stage practitioners and thespians to remake this content for them. So the possibilities are endless. There's the new media, as you have it with TikTok. Before it used to be that you have a drama on radio and do radio drama where it's just the voices and you can have one person play several roles.
Yeah.
People are doing
Yeah.
that with skits. They are playing all the roles. So you have people who are skilled like that who can advise this new range of content creators to do content for them that are rich, be able to play those things. You imagine that some things that people think are new, it's just been existing. It's just the technology that is new that makes people feel like, oh, you're doing something new. You have one person who can do a radio drama.
Yeah.
He does voice modulation for 5 or 6
yeah.
roles.
Yeah.
But the
One
skit,
man acts, yeah.
yes, one man acts. But the skits that is happening today, you have one actor. Because of technology, he can
Can
show
do all
as
the
a
roles.
twin, several roles, mother, child. He's the
That's
same
right.
person doing everything.
Very true.
You can reimagine all of those things. So the possibilities are endless. In fact, I dare say that it is the people who can think, who can unlearn and relearn, that are going to be the champions of this current stage. You have people almost in their 70s who have been in this industry for 40, 50 years and are not giving up. It's very tough. I can imagine it's challenging, but one of the keys is that they need to find a way to open up their minds and not demonize the things they don't understand, because they're very about the technology we have. It has caused problem. If we do not occupy those spaces, there is no vacuum.
Nature of us,
The uncultured, the untrained, the very morally bankrupt
deviance and all that. Yes.
will occupy those spaces, and all that will
We
happen
shall
is that
flourish.
our complaints will
You'll be
stand.
grumbling. You'll
Yes,
be grumbling. That's
yes,
all.
thank you. It's going to be like drum beats, from the fringes. We cannot afford to stay at the fringes of content creation in this age. So such people who have created contents in times past, who have contributed to the creation of content must find a way to connect with the industry. Yes, they may think, oh, they won't reckon me, it's challenging, or I don't want disrespect and all of that. They have to reimagine how to engage. Just moving away slightly, corporations today don't understand fully how to deal with Gen Z in the place of work. There was a generation that saw work as their be all. They were ready to stay there for 20 years. But you give very tough feedback to a Gen Z today, and tomorrow he's tendered the letter of resignation. You think, what's this person going to do? He's going to open a affiliate marketing shop on TikTok and start helping somebody market his products and get paid in foreign exchange. And you can hold on to your job. So you have to think differently in how to engage them. The command and control structure on how you think you can do things has to change. And so that same thing that's happened, that the very revered environments that we had for in the place of work, in the place of entertainment, may not be as. So there has to be some reimagination of how to engage with this audience, to be more open, to their contribution, and to find a way to add value, because you will find that you carry a lot of value because of the years and the experience spent in the industry. There is so much, we complain about education these days because unfortunately the standard has dropped, and has dropped because the education provider sometimes find themselves doing it because there's nothing other to do. So it was easy for them to go there and do these things. So that would be my challenge to these practitioners who are veterans. They have a lot of quality, they have a lot of content that we can benefit from today, but they have to find a way to connect back to the mainstream of the production of this content, in terms of writing, in terms of scripting, in terms of the presentation. You can look at video recording, their sound. They know they were doing so much with very little technology at the time. Let us imagine what they can do now that the technology has gone so far, so fast, and so quick. The possibilities are limitless, and for them to consider and embrace.
Wow, Fudge.
Well, I've
Fudge,
just, Mr. T, I've just got Mike Okri on the line. The young man has been trying to call us. He's got the link. Hello, Mike. I'm fine. It's been long. It's been long. You're live on air. We've been trying to get you over an hour.
Yeah, more than that.
I hope you're Oscar. Something somewhere at the end of the world. How are you? We would like to hear your comment. We have a few more minutes before we go. We have about 10 minutes, 10 minutes before we leave. We would like to hear your comments before the network will cease and hold your voice. You've been holding us here. What will you say about veterans who are indigent? What would be your advice on a way forward, or a way out of the rind of poverty and all that is afflicting creative people?
Well, in the first instance, one should be able to see that the reason why veterans are going through what they're going through is because we don't have a union. Everybody believes that if there is a formidable association it is possible that yes, we can meet each other's needs, talk to the government and other well-meaning Nigerians to make sure that we're able to follow through. That's not possible right now because we don't have a union that's working. The way forward, like we all know, any meaningful and reasonable human being would understand that, yes, look, for instance, the Nigerian Medical Association is a union. The Bar Association has a union. In spite of that they still have their challenges, yet they're able to meet them because it's a process through which they can gather to have a discourse. And it's just a way for us to understand. If we don't have a means through which to harness and get to know one another's difficult problems, then we can't find a way of solving them. That's the first thing that I believe.
But Mike, before you go further, I believe, I think you musicians have a couple of unions or associations. Is that not true? Are they not functional?
Yes, that's I said an association that works. Unfortunately, we have one that is not working, and it's run by the government. We have PMAN, and PMAN has never really worked after Chief Tony left the position. That person has come to grab and leave and left an empty, so to speak. So we still have factions here and there, and it's not really something that really is helping the industry. So you find that each and everyone, that's why the young ones today that are making so much money, nobody can really, put them under control. I remember during that time, there used to be some level of level-headedness, so to speak, and people to answer to. We have a solid foundation because we respect our elders, and we're able to know where our limits are. And today it's a different ball game, so we have a problem.
Wow. Thank you, Mark, for sharing your thoughts with us. Thank you so much. That's the Omoge man. We played your music earlier today, hoping that we'll be able to get you. But we thank God. How are the Opekes doing? Great. Thank you so much for sharing your thought with us. Mike,
nice to see you again. Thank you for coming, Mike.
Yeah, saying hi to you.
How are you?
Good, better. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you.
Okay. You won't even believe that as soon as I've been sitting here, sleeping on the bed and waking up. I knew it.
Yeah, time is gone. I know. I understand you are 9 hours behind us, so you should be trying to go to sleep. You should go and sleep now. Okay, thank you so much, Mike. Thank you, and have a lovely weekend. Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
That was Mike Okri. You remember him? Time, now, money, and all that. I will play this song before we leave if you have the time. Mr. T.
Yeah, I wanted to say. I was going to say something to Shehu, but Fudge.
I wasn't asking for questions. I wanted to help us thank you.
I want to thank him. Yeah, that's part of it. That's part of it, Fudge. Honestly, in the first case, Fudge, to you,
Okay.
Shehu must come back on this show. Shehu must come back on this show, please. Yes, you have to.
Next year, by the grace of God. He's not a very difficult person to pin down.
Now we've got his commitment, Fudge. He's pinned down already. Don't worry about that. He's telling the whole world he's going to be here in January. So that's it. Thank you so much, Shehu.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shehu. Yeah, thank you so much. He must come back. Thank you so much, Shehu. Thank you for the analysis. Thank you for the commitment and the passion. And thank you for being true to not yourself alone, to the industry, because a lot of people must have learned 10, 20 things by your presence today. Thank you so much. And for honoring the Wale Olomu Memorial Team, we wish you the best and hoping that it's just the beginning of a good relationship. Thank you. Thank you again.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you, Sheum. It's a pleasure always to have you. I know Sheum is
Pleasure.
loaded, and I know where it's coming from, and only God knows where it's going. Okay, thank you so much. We've been going back to the songs of the 2000 to 2004, and those are the ones that can relate to Wale, I believe. And next week, we are going to continue with this last final section of this. But listen to this. This is Senorita by P Square. Shimon, thank you so much.
Yes,
We appreciate it.
thank you.
As the music plays, let me remind you, next week we unveil awardees of this year's Wale Olomo Memorial Awards, Lifetime Achievement Awards, and Special Recognition Awards. Right here on the Vintage Show. We'd like to thank the management and staff of Top Radio 90.9 for allowing us and to allow us next week because they're going to take over their space for photo shoots and all that. Some of our honorees come into the studio. We thank our producer, Philmon Shetima. Thank you. A special thank you to our guest, the lone guest that answered us this morning. Very honored guest, esteemed guest, Oluwaseun Ajasa. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, on behalf of the crew, I'm going to thank AC Fair for staying to the end of the show today. She had a night for great artists. Yeah, I must thank you so much for your resilience, Mr. T. Uh,
Thank you, Paj.
it was a battle day network. I think came back and forth at least 11 times. I was
Yes,
counting.
so
It was terrible.
my pleasure all the time, Paj. Thank you.
And wherever they are, Bosu and Alex, thank you. We hope to see some of you next week. Now, let me give you one or two more before we leave. This is Damfo Diver, Mountain Black, and Mad Melon. What a name! It's called a Frebo remix. Ooh. we have had talent too. There's plenty. Yeah, color maybe. Everybody. You remember the song, Mr. T?
Yeah,
Everybody. You go
I
window.
remember. Window. You go window. Oh, wow. Memories are made of these. Well,
Lovely,
our best
lovely,
times,
lovely.
our best times in those days will be the worst times now, and the worst times in
Mm,
those days could be the best times now. That's what
yeah,
generation does. Yeah.
yeah. Final song from 2000 to 2004 is Sound Sultan, produced in 2000. Mathematics. It's been an interesting day. Thank you for listening to us and sharing this space with us, talking about the great stuff of the person or the persona called Wale Olum and why we are celebrating his name and the great chats with our guests. And we'll say it's been an incredible day. We'll still encourage you not to be tired of being nice to people around you every day without faking it. Help those you can, and have a great weekend. We'll meet again for part two by His grace next week. Wow.
Yes. Así es.